evening, guys. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Chem 110. It's very nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Nanette K. Hartley. Please call me Nan. If you don't like calling me Nan, then you can call me Professor. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to do a brief introduction over the course shells and some things like that. So we'll talk about some of the stuff that you're going to see. And in order for me to do that, I need to share my screen. So let me go ahead and do that. So what you're looking at here is a master shell. It's not specifically for your course, but this is what's in your shell. So you'll see here that there's an announcement. It says start here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. You'll see that you have some links for some things in here, and I'll walk you through some of those links. There are some checklists and things that you need to do. You are going to watch the introductory video, which is here, that you're going to be seeing a link to. There's a link to the schedule, which I don't have loaded in this particular shell because they're different for every course. You'll have an Alex link, which will take you to Alex, and I'll show you Alex in just in a few minutes. Slightly different video. And then we'll talk about some of where things are. Now, a couple of things I just want to tell you. I hope that this is a good course for everybody. I'm hoping that it won't be torture, and I know that this class is not something that everybody wants to take or really enjoys doing, but I really enjoy teaching this, so I hope that it's fun for everybody. So that's just my general intro to that. My office hours are located either in 970 302L, that's where my office is, or I hold them in the 700 building in the 307A room, which is on the third floor near the labs. If it says that I'm going to be in my schedule, there is, and I'll show you the schedule in just a couple of minutes. If it says 307A, that's where those office hours will be. Some of my office hours are only remote because I'm off campus 2 days a week. That you will see on my schedule as well. So what are you going to see when you come in here? Well, what you're going to see is this. When you come to content, all you'll see are the course documents. There's nothing else listed here. And you can look through all of these course documents. And once you've looked through all of those course documents, you're going to need to go and take so you'll see the start here checklist. That's not what I wanted, which is linked in the beginning. I haven't linked it here for various reasons. But there's information about me, who I am, where my office are, that kind of thing. The introductory video, you'll have links to the syllabus addendum, the schedule, the lab manual, course policies, technology requirements. This is what the university requires you to have or be able to work with, and the exam handouts, which are really, really important, and we'll talk about that. There'll be the link to create your Alex account, which again will be a link that you can take. This will talk about how you can get to the ebook, which is in Alex. So there is no physical textbook for this course. It is provided to you as part of the course, and it is available through Alex. So this is how you get to it once you get into Alex. Okay. You'll also see that you have assignments in Alex, and those you can get to from these instructions here. Okay. Under each of the exams, you'll find information about each topic that we're going to talk about. There'll be some things that I'll show you in there. We'll talk about the labs because you absolutely have to complete the lab. If you do not complete any of the labs, you cannot pass this class. And then there's post labs, and there are either quizzes in Alex or there's something that you're going to be doing with the paperwork for your course if you're in person. Okay. First couple of assignments that you'll have are the scavenger hunt, the acknowledgement activity, making sure you're signed up for Alex, and doing the lockdown browser and respondus monitor tests. And those will all be linked here. But right now we don't have them linked. Now, let me show you where those are. So when you're in the quizzes, you'll see the scavenger hunt exercise, the acknowledgement activity, and lockdown browser test. You have to do all three of these. I don't care if you're in an in-person class or online, all three of those are required, and you get points for them. So make sure that you do them. But it's the acknowledgement activity that's really the big deal. Once you do this, you come in here and say, okay, I'm going to take this acknowledgement activity, and all it asks you to do is acknowledge that you've looked at all of the documents. So I've read this, I've read this, I've read this, I've read this, and you'll get to see what all of those things are. Once you've acknowledged all of those wonderful things, and you submit that, Then you'll come out here and you'll see in content, there's more stuff. Oh, isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's a way for us to gauge whether or not you're actually engaged with the class. So are you actually doing what you need to be doing? If you haven't done any of that, then that's a reason for us to drop you automatically from the course. So here you'll see all of the things that are required. So you have your course documents, all of those things that we talked about. In here you'll see, and actually there's not a copy of it here. So bear with me just a second. Let me open one of my actual shelves for this course, for this term, and that way you'll see it. I always forget that my availability is not listed in the master. So you'll see that my availability is listed here. You'll see what time I work on each given day and what times I'm on campus. So that's either campus or remote. I have some days that are remote. So like this term, Tuesday and Friday are remote. I am on campus during the hours that are listed here. Any office hours I have that day will be listed and where they are located if they're not in my office or virtual. So if it's a remote day, they're virtual. These will be in my physical office. And then if I'm in a class at some point, you'll see where that class is located. This also has my email address on it, my office location, and my phone number in case you need to reach me. So that's how you can see what my office hours are and where I'm going to be at any given time. So that's where I should be. As far as the schedule goes, you'll see there are a couple of things that are listed in here, and a couple of things I'm going to point out to you. This is the lecture date and the information that we'll be covering in that lecture. So even though this is an online course in terms of when you watch those lectures, they're all recorded for you to watch, but these are the days that you should be doing them. There are quizzes that go with each of these lectures, except the first one. And each one of those is about the material in that particular class. So in lecture 2, there'll be a review from lecture 1. There'll be a question about what are the topics for lecture 2, and some, any number of questions about what the review from the previous lecture is. Now, it's designed that you'll take that quiz before you watch that lecture number. That's the design. You don't have to do it that way. And if you don't, then you'll see me work through problems very similar to what's going to be on the quiz. So this is not meant to be anything complicated. It's a way for you to think about, do I know how to do this thing that I've been asked to do with relation to this material? Because if you don't know how to do it, then that's something you should probably review. Okay, so that's the date for the lecture. That's the material that will be covered. There's a quiz that goes with it. These are the chapters and the sections in the textbook that go with this material. I highly recommend reading that. This is the D2L / Alex lesson. So the information in Alex that you'll need to look at, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And then here you'll see the due dates. So there's a recommended due date in black, and then there's an actual due date in red. What you'll find in Alex is that I want you to complete this within 2 days of when the lecture was done, because we build on that material. So if you're not keeping up, it's really going to be hard to get everything done. Now this due date, this final date, is 2 days before each exam. So everything that's on that exam is due 2 days before that exam to make sure that you're ready to take that test. Okay, can I extend those due dates? Absolutely, I can. Absolutely, it can be done. I can do it. The teaching assistant can do it. Either one of us can do it. But it's not going to help you if you haven't done that homework yet. It is really important for you to do that practice, because just watching me do it, it's not going to mean that you know how to do it on the test. So you need to be doing that practice. Okay, so that's all of that. Now, these lines that are in gray, these are the lab materials. So you're either doing Alex labs, the virtual labs, or you're doing physical labs in class with me. The details of those will be listed here. So you'll see what the name of the lab is, what the number is, what the post lab. So there's a quiz in Alex for these, or a post lab or a report that gets turned into me, and then the date that those are due. Okay. So if this is assigned on the 23rd of October, then it's due on the 1st of November, which is the next week on Wednesday. That's when everything is due for that. So all labs are due the following week on Wednesday. You'll also see your exams. So you'll have a 2-day window for each of your exams. Okay. You also see a discussion due date. There's 2 discussions that need to be done in addition to the intro. The intro is not in here. And then you'll see the holidays as well. So all of that will be covered in your schedule. If you're in an online course, you'll have a lab lecture guide. So these lectures are virtual that you can look at to go with each of these experiments. All of your lab material is found in the labs section. So this will take you to for the online courses, this will take you to the virtual labs. For the in-person courses, you'll see the actual paperwork that goes with each lab. Okay, so there's that. Within each of the exams, you'll see the topics that we're going to be covering for those exams. This one doesn't have a number with it because this is what we expect you to know how to do already. So it's a review for you in case you don't know how to do it. There is a lecture that goes with it. Here's the PowerPoint that goes with this lecture. And then there are some other things that you can look at. Now, the other thing that you'll see is this in-class practice. Those are things that you'll find in all of these. So if you look in the matter units of measure, here's the PowerPoint, here's the lecture for that, here's the in-class practice, and then there's your ALEX homework that goes with that. Okay, so those are things that you'll need to be able to look at. And I'm going to go ahead and take you into the ALEX to let you look at this. Once you've signed up for ALEX, you'll be taken directly to that assignment by following this link. And it'll take you to this assignment. It's got the one list, so it's clicked right here. It's the matter of units to measure, and you can open that to do the assignment. Okay, so that's what you do for that. Now, you need to sign up for ALEX. ALEX can be found in a number of different places, but there's a link right here, so because you're going to need to go to it fairly often. So there is that there. That should take you everything that you need to know about the shell. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to show you in the shell. Trying to think. Oh, the exam handouts. I was going to show you the exam handouts. So under content, under course documents, you'll see the exam handouts. And this is a really long document. It is. It's about 12 pages. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's included in here. It is my expectation that you will have a printed copy of this document that you can use while you're taking your test. You are expected to show that to the monitor when you take the test to show that there's nothing written on it, to show that you have everything. Okay. If you don't do that, that's going to be a problem because I'm expecting that you have this information. It's important that you have it. There are things that you will need off of this to be able to answer questions on the test. For instance, common polyatomic ions, their names and their formulas are here. Okay. Conversion units for dimensional analysis are here. When we get to the VSEPR stuff, this table is here. All of this is necessary for you to work with. So the equations that you'll need, what are strong acids and strong bases are here. Some of this other stuff is for the second half of this course. So you may not need all of it. Solubility rules are here. This is the fun box. We'll get to that. And this is a guide to how to do these calculations. So familiarize yourself with all of this material before the test. My recommendation for each of these sections, if you come in, you'll see there's an exam review. For this exam review, there is a set of questions that are similar to what you'll see on the test. Do these with your exam handouts and don't look at the key. Okay, you need to know if you know how to do these and with the materials that will be provided to you. There's also a practice in ALEX that goes with each of these exams as well. And your questions on the test will be a combination of what you see here and what you see in ALEX. Now, they may be exactly the same question, or they may be a modification of those questions, but they're very similar. Okay? I'm not above taking a question directly from one of these practices to put on the test. Okay, so that is a recommendation for that. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk about before we get too far. There's a secondary checklist that you'll get linked to, which is a success checklist. Actually, I want to view this in here because if I do it from here, then you'll see it the way you see it. Come on. So your success checklist, we'll talk about some of the things I think you should do. Now, how you handle this is entirely up to you. This is just a recommendation that I have for things that have worked for students I've had in the past. So have a plan, make sure you stick to it, read the text, ask questions. If you're watching a virtual lecture and you don't understand something, note the lecture number and the time and email me, call me, ask me, okay? Do the in-class practice, okay? If you don't have time to do the Alex and the in-class practice, that's probably okay. But if you're having problems with the Alex, do the in-class practice because it's supposed to be easier, all right? So it should help to bring those concepts together for you. Do the lab work, okay? So if you're working in one of the virtual labs, you're encouraged to take notes as you do your experiments and then use those to take the post lab quizzes in Alex. Now, if you're in a virtual or in an in-person class, your post labs are on paper. You can use any notes you want, not a big deal, okay? Do the Alex homework for the material. If you're having problems with it, let me know. I can help. Not a big deal at all. I've sat with students while they do their homework in Alex virtually. It's not a problem. Do the exam review sheets and treat them as if they were a test. After the exams, review what you did and the feedback that you were given. You should see answers for everything. And if you don't understand what went wrong, let me know. We can talk about that. Okay. And there are some things here, so problem solving, scientific method, test taking, and significant figures. These are all in the beginning parts of the content. So in this sig figs thing, all of this stuff is in here and in here. Okay, so these are just some things about how, recommendations for taking a test. I used to work at the Princeton Review, so I used to teach test taking. It's one thing that I do know. Ways that I talk about how I do problem solving, this is available to you as well, and scientific method. Okay, so this is an important approach to how we deal with the laboratories. All right, so that's all information for you that is not required but is recommended. Is there anything else that I want to talk about? I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's everything that I needed to talk about. So there's my introduction. Make sure that you get signed up for Alex, that you do the acknowledgement activity, that you do the scavenger hunt, and I recommend, and you will need all of these documents to be able to do that. But you can have these documents open in one window and take it in the other window. That's perfectly fine. And then make sure you sign up for Alex. All of those are required within 1 week of when class starts. So since class starts on the 18th, you need to have that done by the 24th. Failure to do those things will cause an automatic drop from this class. Okay, please make sure that you understand that. So if you have any questions, comments, problems, concerns, anything at all, let me know. I am more than happy to help. It's kind of my job to do that. That's what they pay me for, and I'm happy to talk to you about anything that you have questions about. You will have a teaching assistant for this course. I'm not announcing who that is because it's not always the same. So, but you will be able to find that person if you go into the class list by looking at the instructors. And what you will see when you look at the instructors is there will be another name here besides just me. So that person is also someone that you can talk to. They are generally in charge of grading the labs, the discussions, and dealing with due dates in Alex. So if you need an extension, you probably want to talk to them about that. But we will make announcements to that as you may need. Okay. So, all right. I think that's everything I've got for now. Thanks very much for being with me, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.